the patients by having good interim indicators that you're hitting.
One more question.
I'm wondering how much more time you think we have to start showing substantial progress and not necessarily having the whole job done, but showing that there's been some fairly major steps and that we are on a new path. 6 months, 10 years? What's your sense of, how, of the time, of the amount of time we have to start to show real progress?
Brad.
I think that's everybody's question, because you've got states crashing financially. You have the feds about to put in enormous amounts of money, but it's not guaranteed to stay. And yet you're not supposed to do something that assumes you can carry forward. At the same time, one of the things we're telling our sister states is because nobody has an answer to that, we have to provide the leadership. And when you put your RTT, your proposals in, pick something you can get done. Can you move 4th grade math X amount in 3 to 5 years? In other words, claim the line yourself. Can you reduce dropouts by X amount within 2 or 3 years of whatever treatment you think you're doing? So don't leave it open. Don't assume that the changes are going to be some sort of a great big system success when you didn't indicate what your targets were. And given that you've only got 3 to 5 years to demonstrate this in the sense of the politics of it, pick something that can be done. And I would suggest most of us could pick something like 4th grade math and put a number on it, and it's just systemic enough and just central enough and just a powerful enough indicator that to move it would still require all these systems to change around it. And I still don't believe we can't do that. It's those kind of things for me. It's either 4th grade math, 8th to 9th grade transition, and dropout prevention of the 10th grade. 3 indicators. Pick them, draw a line, and then drive to it.
You asked a very precise question. The answer is 12 months. And the reason is that ESEA markup will begin in 15. If we don't have a clear, crisp plan in place that looks like colleges of ed are actually working toward, you're going to get AYP for colleges of education.
Well, so I want to put plus or minus 6 months on that, actually,
Well,
because
markup next.
proposals and conversations are happening now that are framing what it's going to look like there. So yesterday is the answer, and I think, but it's really, you're talking 16 to 18 months for a vision that is compelling and clear. I think there's some time to work through those details, but it's fast.
And I want to go ahead and mention that it's in the higher ed reauthorization. There's almost certainly going to be a linkage between classroom student performance and the performance of our teacher candidates in the schools. So that was part of the reason why some of the comments that were being made, as you notice, about the notion of defining student performance is absolutely vital for us, because I often refer to this as the holy grail of education, is being able to create linkages between each part of the teacher preparation process all the way into the classroom.
Okay. Good, last question. We're going to go up here. Ian.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks for the views that you put forward. I have to point out that I'm going to take just a quick second or two to do some shameless advertising. The session is called Strategies and Next Steps. And I have to say that the strategy that has to continue, regardless of the specifics that we've just talked about, is that the conversations that we're having in the last 2 days have to continue. And they have to continue on a fairly regular basis, and they have to continue in writ large across a whole series of different levels. The next step, and this is where I apologize in advance for the shameless advertising, the next step is happening in July in Sydney in 2010. One of the reasons that I'm here is because Paul and I have been talking about some synergies that are developing between this summit and the 2010 Sydney Symposium on the Futures of Teacher Education and School Leader Education. This is an event that happens on the 26th to the 29th of July next year. And it's something that I will, if you will allow me the leverage to use your email addresses, send you the details on it just to keep you informed and in the loop of the whole thing. This is actually a conversation that needs to be a global conversation. You know the impact that you have on the way that people think about things globally. Let's be real about that. There is a significant impact on what we do here in these 2 days on the rest of the thinking around the globe. And what we produce in these 2 days will form the basis of the discussion that will continue beyond it in July next year. So thank you for inviting me. It's been a delight, and I think we've done some great work here, and we ought to congratulate ourselves on that.
And then Australia, here I come. Paul, thank you so much. One more round for the panelists.
I'd like for Tom to join me for the close here. As you've heard, we have really identified a number of things that are starting to emerge as a vision. And what I do want to ask all of the members that are here to really be part of a community, because we want to continue to have this vision emerge, to have it more fully developed, to have it more clarified. Because I think, as every one of the panelists have indicated, we need to have a clear and compelling vision of teacher education, and we need that as soon as we collectively, with all of the wisdom and expertise that's resident just in this room, to work together to flesh this out. All of you have access to all of the back channel chats. You have access to all of the Google Docs. Everything that's been done by every group, we have that all documented. And so we're all going to put our miners' helmets on, and we're going to mine this really rich source of key ideas and start welding these together to create this vision. And we've had the metaphor of we're on the road. This is a journey, and we need for all of you to be part of this, and we'll be moving together as quickly as we can to forge this new vision of teacher education.
Thank you. I want to give credit for all of this to Paul, who grabbed me somewhere at some meeting about 1.5 years ago and said, we got to have a meeting, right? We're going to get all these people together, and so I thank you, Paul, for roping me into this. I'm really, as I said earlier and yesterday, I'm really optimistic. I'm encouraged that we are at a moment for change. There are lots of converging forces. The demographics of the workforce that we've talked about, all the capacity that we have in terms of new learning technologies, new competencies, and open learning.